Okay, so today I thought, under the circumstances, I would talk about depression and mental health and people that may be really down at the moment. This video might help a few people. Um, you know, Things are not good at the moment. Everyone's feeling a bit down. But as far as depression's concerned, I would say that everyone at some point suffers depression, and it's a terrible, terrible thing. And some people do suffer a lot more than others. Even people that you see that you think are happy all the time, you just don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Fortunately for me, I've been pretty good. I'm always quite happy, but there are definitely times when you can feel extremely depressed. I'm going to give you a little story of what happened to me. It might help some people to understand, how I sort of got out of a bad time, and how I went about it. And it's not easy. About a year and a half ago, things couldn't be worse. Um, I opened a gym thinking it would be a good thing to do. I always wanted a gym again because I'd had one in the past that was actually very successful. And all I wanted to do was just open a gym, for the community and for people that I knew that had kept asking me, Mark, you should open another gym. The last one was so good. Why don't you open another one? So I thought, okay, let's, give it a go and see if we can recreate what we had in the past. Unfortunately, from day one, it was a complete disaster. Um, I just didn't get the support that I felt that I would get. The nastiness that I had from opening that was unreal. I mean, I never said anything. I never posted anything. I had, texts of, I'm a loser and other gyms. It was quite bizarre. A CrossFit gym that was local was coming over and complaining. I said, listen, it's not going to affect you. This is a bodybuilding gym. It's very different to CrossFit. I had a boxing gym complaining. I had a place in Milton Keynes that was basically dedicated to strongman and strength. And he posted, because I actually said that it was a hardcore gym. And what I meant by that is it wasn't a fitness gym. You have hardcore gyms for bodybuilders, you have fitness gyms. And he posted what makes him think that his hardcore gym is any more hardcore than ours. And he's only got a little shed, and it wasn't done. It was a million miles from his gym, and it was definitely not opened to in any way tread on anyone's toes at all. And the nastiness that I got and the constant texts, and from day one somebody had rung the council to shut me down because of planning permission, etc. I just couldn't believe how negative and how bad it was, but I just kept my chin up and thought, look, let's do this. It wasn't even for a profit for myself. It was never going to make loads of money. I just thought it would be a nice thing to do to get all the bodybuilders together to train like we used to, and it just didn't happen. It didn't happen, and I had a very long lease, of which could have really sort of took a lot of money and could have put me into a serious state of financial ruin, to be honest with you. So I'm a bit down. I couldn't actually train because I was under so much stress. I was helping people, and some people chose to flee and go off to other people that were at the time being more successful, which is fine. I was really, really struggling at the time. Like I said, everything I touched at the time, it went wrong. It just couldn't. The shop was going bad, the gym was going bad. And to top it all off, just as I was going to shut the gym, a good friend of mine decided to steal a load of weights out of the gym, of which at the time I dealt with whether it has, but now I have absolute 100% proof. And, that was just a kick in the teeth right at the end. So I basically was very, very fortunate to get out of the gym. I found someone who wanted to take over the lease, which was good because I needed to get out because my mental state was bad. I just had nothing left in me. I just couldn't keep on. And I come back to the shop with my tail between my legs. I felt very, very depressed because I felt like a lot of people had, like I'd failed, and the people that were laughing at me, and that, my pride had been hurt. I wasn't looking very good. I hadn't been training because of the stress. It was a terrible, terrible time. and I needed to come to the shop, and I needed to try to keep the shop going. That was my main goal. But it was like 9:45. I had to open the shop at 10, and I was still in bed and just could not find the motivation to come to work. The depression was very, very bad. The bodybuilding I wasn't doing anymore. I was always called, a has-been. People used to, even the postman coming and said, it's no good keeping them pictures up behind me, because you shouldn't be dwelling on the past. You'll never look like that again. And it might have been a joke to him, but I take things quite personally. And it was hard, very, very hard. And watching people around me doing well, and that, it's quite bad. So I was low, very, very low. I felt like I was in the corner like a dog, being kicked to death. And there was two things that could happen here. I could just curl up and die, or you can be, like I said, a lion, and you can get up. And like I said, lions in circuses can be ridiculed and can be kicked, but eventually they'll come back and bite. And that's what I chose to do. So what I did was, one morning I'm laying there, it's about 9 o'clock, and everything had gone bad. Everything I'd touched had gone bad, and I thought, look, this has got to stop. But what I need to do here is I need to concentrate on myself, get myself feeling better. I knew that bodybuilding has helped me through some bad times in the past, and I feel that when I was training and when that's going well, everything else around me starts going well. So what I decided to do, I thought, I'm going to clean this food up a little bit. So I went to work that day and cleaned it up a bit, but it was hard to stick with it. I'd have the odd protein bar, and I just couldn't get going. So the next day I'd try again. The next day I'd try again. It wasn't really happening, but I kept on with it, and I thought, look, if I could just try to sort of clean this food up a bit, just keep at it, just try to sort of make myself look a bit better, lose a bit of weight so I'm not so lethargic. And I sort of stuck with it, and I lost a few kilos and started feeling a little bit better because of it. My food, food is a big thing. It fuels the body. If you've got to get the right foods in you, and it also can help your mental state. If you're sitting there eating chocolate all night, and you start putting weight on, you get lethargic, you start getting tired, you can't think straight. The foods that you're fueling your body with are just no good. So when I started fueling my body with sort of proper foods again, I thought, right, okay, I've lost a bit of weight, feel like I've got a bit more energy. Started to train a little bit more, a little bit harder. And I thought, that's good. And I could see a little change. So I thought, and then all of a sudden, the shop started picking up a little bit again, and, things started getting a little bit more positive. And luckily, I set myself a goal that I'd like to go and watch the Mr. Olympia again. It was very difficult because financially things have been bad, but I'd set myself on going to the Olympia. So I managed to book that, and it was very exciting. I thought, look, what I'm going to try and do now is get in half decent shape for this. So I'm going to diet down so I go there looking decent. So it gave me a goal. And I wanted to diet down. I was 120 kilos when I started, and I thought I was sort of lost. I'd lost a bit, and I was sort of hitting about 115. I thought, I'm going to get to 110, and I'm going to watch go there. And I started cranking up the training massively. I've gone from like 2 or 3 times a week to 2-3 times a day training. And now it was difficult at first. I was getting up in the morning and really forcing myself to do it. But then it got easier and easier, and I started seeing changes, and I was getting back to how I used to be again. I thought, this is good. So went to watch the Olympia, had a great time, and a friend that I was with at the Olympia said, come on, let's go and train. I said, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to have a few days off, because you know what? When I get back, I'm going to crank this up. I don't really think he sort of believed me at the time. He thought, oh, all right, okay. He said, you don't want to train? I said, no, I'm going to have a few days off now. I'm going to enjoy being here and watching the Olympia. When I get back, we're going to start, trust me. And when I got back, I got on it hard, and took it to the next level. We was going away again. Things were getting better now, going on holiday again at Christmas time. I thought, right, I'm going to lose more weight. I'm going to get in real good shape for this holiday. So I dropped down to 105. We had a little holiday, and then of course we went away again. Actually, it was Christmas time that I'd sort of got in decent shape, and I had a photo shoot before then. I was about 102 kilos, and the photo shoot come out good. I was happy. I thought, this is good. I'm looking half decent. I'm quite pleased with this. But then, I thought, look, I'm going to keep this going. While things are going well, everything around me is going good now. The shop's improved. And another thing that I had going at the time was my brand, which, that suffered because I just couldn't give it the attention it needed. I was very, very happy to bring it out. I did Body Power at the time when things were really, really bad, and I lost a load of money there. So the brand was starting to do better. Everything's starting to come into place now. I'm able to focus. My bodybuilding's going well. My brand's starting to sell. Everything's really happening. And I've gone on holiday and people have complimented the way I looked and that, and it was absolutely great. I thought, this is what I used to be like. This is me. This is good. This is coming back. And this was all for me. It wasn't to prove a point to anyone. It was just I needed to do this for myself. So I kept things going and going and going even more. And things have been progressively getting better. And now, a year and a half later, here I am. I've got myself in shape, probably the best shape that I've been in for many, many, many years. My brand is booming where I'm selling out. I have my gyms around me at home and here at a time when things are really, really bad. My shop's been doing well. Everything couldn't be better. And, you don't want to sound, bitter, but, you look back because it's funny now how things can change very easily. Where all them people that at the time, have been texting me constantly, can we use your gym, facilities? So it's quite funny, karma's a funny thing. These people that at the time ridiculed me, and people that said I was a has-been, come in the shop, let's have a pose down now. You know what I mean? You won't see them now. And I don't want to sound like I'm being, bitter. It's very difficult, because I do believe in karma. It would have been very easy to post some things online of the people that had stolen off me and all these types of things, but I just think, just leave it and karma will do its thing. And now, I've managed to turn it around. This is the happiest I've been in a long, long time. Hopefully, this story that I've give you, is just shows you, you can be absolutely down, really, 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 really down, but it can be turned around. And everyone suffers at some point from depression, and everyone has bad times. And another lesson to be learned is, if you are successful, is don't look down on people that are struggling. Don't kick them down, because you never know, it might be you tomorrow. And people that are struggling, can turn it around and also become successful. So you have to, enjoy what you've got, and if you've got it. And if you haven't got it, you need to wish well on others. You should be happy for people that are successful. Unfortunately, people get very jealous when people are doing well. And when people are not doing well, people are very quick to kick you and kick you again repeatedly, which is how I felt and is what happened to me when things weren't going well when I had my gym. So, mental health, depression, it's a terrible, terrible thing, and you've got to be very careful. It's funny on social media recently, where people say, be kind to other people, and and I just, it's very strange, because these people that post this, I know otherwise. They are genuinely not like that. It's very easy to post these things, but you've got to act on it. You've got to be a good person. We're all to blame. We all say things, we all get jealous. It's to what degree. We have to try our very best to be happy. We have to be happy for people that are doing well, and we also need to try to be successful ourselves. And certainly now, at a time like this, when everyone's down, this is when we need to club together, and we do need to think of others. But you can see that people are very, very selfish, and it brings the worst out in people. And it's very, very sad. But like I said, if there's anyone out there at all who's suffering, who's depressed, who's struggling, and you feel like everyone around you is kicking you down at a time when you really need some help, you can turn it around. You've got to try to turn it around. Make that change today. Stand up and be the lion. Don't be the dog that's curled up in the corner that's prepared to die. You must stand up, and even if you make the slightest change, start eating more healthy. It can be very easy to sink in depression, sitting at home, eating crap, watching the news, getting depressed. It's going to get bad. So you've got to stand up, even if you go in your garden and you're going to do some exercises and you're going to do X amount of push-ups today, and you're going to eat this of healthy foods. This is what you must do, and I'm going to carry on the way I have been, regardless of what's going on around me, because I don't want to go back there. I don't want to be in that place again that I was before. So hopefully, telling my story, will show you that anyone can be in a terrible position, can be down, and it's surprising how people around you behave. You get to know who your true friends are, and unfortunately for me, a few of them friends turned out not to be, and actually in a way it's a good thing, because it can sift out the bad from the good. But good luck, and like I said, in a time like this, you've got to be positive. Don't sink into depression, and get some fresh air, go in the garden, do some exercise, eat clean, and be happy for those around you that are successful, and try and set yourself goals and also become successful yourself. And good luck, and we'll be speaking soon.